6 years ago, the first Tweed run ever was successfully held in England. Following 1 month of preparations, the big British event made its first way over to Beijing in a special form which combines Chinese traditional culture and British bike fashion. Welcome to the Beijing Vintage Ride. There are so many fans of vintage rides in Beijing that rallying participants and interest in the event was quite easy. The only requirement is you must look the part. That means Chinese riders should wear English tweed clothes and foreigners should wear traditional Chinese clothes, as required by the organizers of the event. The event turned out to be a great success and much fun for all involved. Let's look back at what impressed us the most. The weather on the day of the vintage ride was warm and sunny, which always puts people in a good mood. Nearly 300 participants, or triple the amount expected, arrived at the meeting place at Beijing's Workers' Gymnasium. Because there were so many people, the riders needed to be separated into groups.
The popularity of this event is far beyond my expectation. I thought only around 150 riders would come, but in the end, it turned out that over 300 riders showed up. And because of the admission limits, there are more riders who would like to come but did not get a chance to. I feel very sorry to them, but overall, we reached our goal.
Riding has been a delightful experience for every participant this afternoon. Although the Chinese streets are very different from traditional English streets, with no red telephone booths, no Big Ben, and no London Bridge, our riders could still experience a bit of the vintage spirit. Dressing in tweeds transported them to another time and made very interesting eye candy for passers-by.
This bicycle is an old flying pigeon bicycle that I bought. I don't know how old, it's not very old, but when I bought it, I did a project of taking every screw off. So each and every screw on this bike I took off, set it on the ground. I cleaned each and every screw and then put it back together. So it's because my bike already has red rims and red color fits really well, and this is an old Chinese bike, well then I need to wear traditional style, like Chinese, not Western. So that's why I decided to wear a qipao.
Red is one of the Chinese traditional colors, but there are some other colors which represent the Chinese spirit, especially when it is green, like the old Chinese military uniform of Lei Feng. This color green is also reminiscent of the fashions of the 1970s China.
I'm a big fan of Lei Feng.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I work at a Chinese culture center called the Hutong, and we do some events where people dress up as characters from Chinese history. So we already had the outfit.
I really like it. I think it's great that people get on bicycles and ride around. Anytime there's like mass rides, I think it's good.
Actually, the Beijing Vintage Ride is not only about riding in Beijing. Luckily, there was a perfect after-party place in the 798 Art District. Here, participants were able to communicate with one another about their riding experiences and vintage collectibles, enjoy the desserts and coffee offered by the sponsors. Then came the highlight of the day, the selection of the best rider.
Our purpose of organizing this ride is to promote a low-paced lifestyle. Riding bicycle is an aerobic exercise and it helps to keep us healthy. In addition, it's also environmental friendly. The price we offer today is not money but a vintage bicycle. We want to use it to reward those who loves riding and vintage collection with a true heart.
Won't get you anything that
Many of the people were surprised that the winner of the grand prize was not a fashionable guy or a pretty and leggy young girl. In fact, it was an old Chinese carter with his antique tricycle.
I often read about related information online or from newspaper and TV. I like the idea of protecting the environment by riding bicycles. So, as soon as a friend of mine told me about the Beijing Vintage Ride, I signed up for it. However, I didn't expect to get the first prize and win a vintage bike. How wonderful!
Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
As the organizers said, the Beijing Vintage Ride is not just a show or an event. It is a way to spread a more healthy lifestyle and a way to build a more eco-friendly society. Bikes were the main mode of transportation in China, and now, though they still serve as transportation, they are also becoming a new vehicle to combine fashion and culture.